At 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, an HOA Karen made a $2.3 million mistake. That's when everything changed for Maya, her family, and the entire Willowbrook community. For years, this quiet suburb was ruled not by its residents, but by a corrupt HOA board led by Bethy, a woman whose power trip turned neighbors against each other, especially targeting military families. Maya's family, like many others, had been living in constant fear, enduring harassment, false complaints, and arbitrary fines, all because they wore the uniform of service. Bethy's tyranny went beyond petty rules. She weaponized the HOA, using it as a tool to isolate and intimidate those who dared to stand up or didn't fit her narrow vision. Military families, who already sacrificed so much for the country, faced discrimination in their own homes. But nobody knew just how deep the corruption ran until Maya decided to fight back. That fateful Tuesday morning, Maya gathered with neighbors who were tired of living in fear. They pooled their courage, their stories, and their strength. It was a moment born out of frustration, but it became a turning point. The $2.3 million mistake wasn't Bethy's only error. It was the cost of her greed and abuse finally catching up. Maya's evidence, combined with the relentless work of federal prosecutors, exposed a pattern of corruption, nepotism, and illegal discrimination. The story went viral. Soon, over 400 similar cases from across the nation poured into the national HOA corruption database. Federal investigations were launched, protecting thousands of military families from the same suburban terrorism. Maya's community endured, and Willowbrook's rebirth began. After the corrupt board was ousted, the neighborhood began to heal. Property values climbed 31%, not because of flashy new developments or gimmicks, but because justice was served. Ethical governance restored trust, and families who once feared harassment now celebrated their community. Military families started seeking out Willowbrook, drawn by its reputation as a safe haven. The community that was once fractured by fear became a place where veterans and their loved ones could finally relax, thrive, and connect. Maya herself became a national advocate. Her story inspired many, but it also brought personal joy. She married David, a Navy veteran and brother to Captain Sarah Chun, whose family had also been touched by this fight. Their wedding was held in the community center where we'd once watched federal justice unfold live. A symbol of victory turned celebration. As for me, I found happiness too. Alina Martinez, the federal prosecutor who helped build our case, transferred to local operations. We bought the house next to my grandmother's. Every morning, waking up surrounded by the neighborhood we fought to protect feels like a small victory served daily. But the impact didn't stop there. The Rodriguez Military Scholarship Fund, created from lawsuit settlements, has already sent 23 military children to college. Every graduation is a reminder. One family's courage can ripple through generations, creating opportunity and hope where there was once fear. Mrs. Patterson, now 91, remains the conscience of our neighborhood. At every community event, she cuts the ribbon with a smile full of pride. "Your grandmother knew you'd do something special," she says to me during park dedications, eyes shining. "She just didn't know you'd save the whole neighborhood." Our first annual Freedom Day celebration brought everything full circle. Hundreds of military families gathered in the park where Bethy's tyranny once ruled. The sound of children's laughter blended with veterans' pride. The smell of barbecue filled the air that was once poisoned by fear. That day, holding Maya's hand, watching families gather safely in the community, Grandma loved it. was more than a celebration. It was justice served, the community healed, and proof that bullies can be defeated when good people organize and fight back.